Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the eCrit Series North America East Race presented by CycleOps. We're about to get going with the men's and the women's races out on course. Just want to go through the event description, though, real quickly, along with some of the rules around the eCrit Series for North America here. So the Zwift eCrit Series presented by CycleOps is a 5-race series taking place every Monday from October 30th to November 29th. North American riders will score points in each race. Top 10 North American men and top North American women in the overall standings will be invited to a live e-racing final in January to determine who will be crowned the Zwift Crit Series North America champion. Location and date is still to be announced. For the categories, if you want to jump into the racing, go ahead and select the A category for the men or the B category for the women. Anyone is welcome to each of them. Those are not significations of ability levels. Points for the series is divided into 3 for North America regions: East, Central, West, for points, respectively. Points awarded to the first 20 North Americans. See, there are some information about that below. But men and women riders from 20 points to 1 in reverse order for each region. You must compete in the region you reside in to be eligible for the final. That is a very key point. The top 3 men and women in each room will be invited to the live e-racing finals. So for this region, we are currently looking at it looks like Pennsylvania, Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Canada looks like New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador, Nova Scotia, Ontario, Prince Edward Island, and Quebec. So all of those places for this East region. Also out of Mexico, Quintana Roo is also in this region as well. The men have gotten underway, and it's Nathan solo casting for you boys and girls today. If you would like to get more information on everything I just told you, go ahead and head on over to Zwift.com to events, and you will be able to see the information all there that I just read through for you. And so going to the front end of the race right now, it does look like we have about 60 men that have shown up to contest for these top 20 points today. A. Zimmerman here coming out of the US of A. We do have, it looks like Scotty Weiss, most likely one of the favorites on the day to try and grab the W out there. We'll see if he does have any help from any Team Experimental teammates. That is going to be interesting to see, because his teammate Kim Little took the win in the EU Crit Series earlier, the first one in the series earlier today. I'm seeing Mark Min jumping in there, as well as Carissa Min. It looks like husband and wife racing side by side, I believe, as I did see Carissa just log into game actually over at the women's race, and they have taken off out onto the course already as well. We'll jump into the racing in just a moment here. See back here though, watch out for him riding for ODZ. He has been killing it recently out on the race course here, getting a couple of podiums amongst the EU races, actually, as of recently, the 2 p.m. KISS races. I haven't seen him in a few, so watch out for him. Dwayne Grain is there as well, coming from Vision Cycling. Watch out for Dwayne and S. Cooper. A few riders I'm unfamiliar with, and that's part of the exciting thing for the races, is that we are going to start seeing people coming out of the woodwork looking to try and take the W here in the series and try and get into that final. Now, the race today, though, is out on the London course for the London Flat Crit course. So we are going to be doing 6 laps out on there. It'll be about 24 miles or 37.7 kilometers, I believe, or so. And as we look through here, I'm going to see any other information. Oh, yes, we also results are over at ZwiftPower.com, and we'll be tracking over at ZwiftPower.com the entire time. If you do have any comments or questions, please go ahead and leave them in our Zwift Community Live Facebook post or you can tweet at Z Community Live. Tweet at Z Community Live, and you can go ahead and interact directly with our race broadcast as we go. Let us know who your favorite races are, as well as if you have any questions about the series, about what Zwift is, how to get set up, what these power-ups are that are flying over their head right now. We'll go over all of that, but it's always fun to interact with the community as you watch the action in the race. Scotty Weiss now up toward the front, though, multi-time world champion, Masters world champion, actually. Well, two-time, both in the TT as well as the road race. I believe he took second or third this year at the Masters World Championships. I think just nipped at the line, actually, for that second place he took, actually, I believe. The 6.2 watts per kilogram. Watch out for him. Real Deal Racing, though, here with EVO. Pure Facati, though, is here as well. Winner of the Las Vegas event, CVR Las Vegas event, though. Watch out for him, as well as participant in a ton of Zwift racing. Pure Facati, along with Beck. This is going to be a dangerous duo here to be watching out for. And ODZ might be able to play some of these team tactic cards and try to get the better of the strongman Scotty Weiss there out on course today. We'll make sure to keep up with all of the riders out there and see what their past results are, to try and see who might be some of the favorites out today, as some of these guys and gals we haven't seen in a lot of the races that we do, as a lot of them that we do for our broadcasts are during kind of midday here CST. So this nighttime racing for the Americas might bring some new faces to the front end of the course. Michael Yatter's good to see you there. He says, how long is this? And this one is going to be 6 laps out on the crit course here on London. So it's going to be 6 laps, about 36K, 24 miles or so. And so this is, yeah, and Johnny's saying, yeah, Pure Facati, Scotty, and Beck gonna be a strong race out there today. Speaking of, though, also strong riders out on course, we do have some favorites showing up as well for the women's race. We're going to be watching out for it here as the boys settle down a little bit. The first split is starting to take place, but we do see 13 women that have shown up for the women's race out here today, and it looks like Fearless is showing up in force. We do have a Levang here coming from Fearless. I believe she is actually the director sportif of that. Carissa Min is here for TFC as well. Sounds like the crowd has gotten really loud out here for the women. We're going to go ahead and bring that down just a tad, but they are killing it out there, it looks like here. Biomont also coming from Fearless, now up toward the front of this race, trying to follow up, it looks like, Video here, who has a ZA kit on, actually, it looks like. So a ZA graduate here, killing it looks like, on the front. I do also see M. Hunter, and Fearless now actually 3 in the top 6 right now. Katrina Rice trying to follow that up. Ryan for Sis Cycling here also looks about 6 seconds back from Beaumont. Then we do have Fideo here off the front, just trying to ride a race of her own. As we move back to the women's race here, as we do see Hunter here, Beaumont, Fideo, Beth York, though, excuse me, off the front with a few others. We did not see them right off the bat. So this is actually first place. Should have been paying attention to that really great little placing markers that Zwift has put into the game recently. So it is going to be Yavinhan here, Fuller, followed up by Verna, also riding for Fearless in-game here. It looks like they've adopted this, or is this a new kit in-game, actually, that they actually have? I'll have to take a look and see if it says Fearless on it, but looks like they've got this bright yellow neon / kit. So it looks like Beth York, though, here up toward the front, right along with Epibalm, and then it looks like Fideo's trying to chase that down, about 30 seconds back. Villeneuve there as well, now about 4 seconds back. No heart rate monitor on. We're going to have to we'll give her a ride on, but maybe give her some encouragement for that heart rate. So we know she is suffering as well, though, it looks like, trying to close this down. 180 beats per minute from Fideo, still trying to continue on with this effort, and it's already looking like solo TT efforts, but now it is going to be Fearless getting together here. Beaumont's going to jump onto the wheel of Hunter here, and they're going to try and chase down Fideo together. If Beaumont can jump on there. Coming out of Canada, the rider out of the US of A, M. Hunter here, 170 beats per minute, 7 meters though to Beaumont. She's got to jump on that wheel. A little bit of communication would help out between these ladies right now. Katrina Weiss now 164 beats per minute, just outside the top 5 right now. Maybe be able to chase these girls down. It will be the BRT team now represented by Jay Thompson. Moron here as well as came in. Newsom here about 7 seconds back, it looks like, with Levang, as they try to chase that down. Carissa Min here sitting on the wheel in this group of 4 here, trying to chase down Weiss, who is solo up front. So that's the current situation in the women's race as they fight it out for the points for the E-Crit series presented by CycleOps. If you are just tuning in, we are live right now on Zwift Community Live Facebook, as well as Twitch TV, Mixer, and YouTube. If you would like to follow us at any of those places for push notifications of any time we go live, I highly suggest to head on over to a live streaming platform, Twitch or Mixer, for those push notifications. It will notify you anytime that we do go live. And so we are seeing here in the men's race then, let's go ahead and bring them back in as the women settle into their groups. They're about to hit up the main place where the breaks will be taking place out on course here. This left-hand turn into the climb through Whitehall and into Trafalgar Square here, as we do see Litzter here, as well as Weiss positioning himself very well up toward the front. And this is going to be his favorite place out on course, being one of the lightest riders with out on Zwift here. He's going to absolutely kill this climb, I would assume. Maybe chilling out a little bit here, not wanting to go too early, being on lap 1 of 6. It might not be the right timing just yet to try and make that happen. 4.7 watts per kilogram, sitting in on a few of the wheels here and allowing a few to go off the front. And that might be the tactic as well there, coming from some of the stronger riders, just letting those who want to throw down all their chips on the table and then hold on to the pocket rockets. But here comes the 12.9 watts per kilogram from Scotty. A little bit of kick, still 164 beats per minute though. It will be Beachyat here, right along with S. Cooper, actually riding out of the UK. Is he residing though in the East? That might be also an issue that we need to pay attention to for those who are actually residing in the region that they need to be to qualify, but are originally from another country that they're identifying their flag with. So that'll be an interesting thing if they need to ping ZHQ about if they do get disqualified for the country flag. But we'll have to see how that ends up working out. But we'll give Cooper a ride on as he's jumping in amongst these boys and girls. Maybe a late night for him. If he is in the UK, it is 12:42, almost 1 a.m. I have a feeling perhaps he is actually in this region. And so looking through here, warming up for the Zwift NA Central E-Crit, testing out the new black bibs at Zwift Community Live. We do see a little more interaction here coming through from Mr. Casey Shum. Good to hear, Casey Shum. I'm excited to see you get I have a feeling that Casey is actually going to be live streaming this, so I'm excited to see you jumping on to the Central, and maybe we're going to have Team Experimental domination of the E-Crit series. I mean, we've already had Kim numero uno today. Scotty Weiss hanging out here. ODZ looking to show up to do something about that, or perhaps a few others in here. But Casey now jumping into the Central as well immediately after this, and we'll have coverage throughout the entire night here for all 3 of the races. So super exciting to see here. We'll see how it ends up for Team Experimental on the day. If they can grab 4 of 4 for the entire series, be absolutely amazing. I got a few more tweets coming on through here. Some representation there for Team Fearless actually getting some clips going on through there. And that is another feature I think a lot do not know about over on Twitch. And if you would like to clip the last 30 to 90 seconds of any of these races, any highlights during the broadcast, you can do so and create your own instant replays. Actually, it's a really great feature that we do have over at Twitch, where down in the lower right hand corner, right around, if you can see where my mouse is on here, right around here where my mouse cursor is, right around there, you should be able to see a little movie clip. And if you clip that, you can go ahead and create your own quick little instant replay of the last 30 to 90 seconds of the broadcast. So if there's an exciting moment that you want to show off, your friend or significant other, yourself even, gets a highlight in the broadcast, you can quickly just clip that, tweet it right on out, and we will catch that and do our best to highlight it and retweet as well. We do have toward the front now. It looks like though B. Martin, not toward the front, actually a little ways off the back, has been dropped off. It is going to be a lead group at this point though of what looks to be about 20 riders or so. I think each of these riders has punched their ticket for a point at least, as it is 20 down to 1 for the top 20. Looking over at zwiftpower.com. For the live results, we'll go ahead and see who has made this lead group. 60 signed up, and it looks like we've already got it whittling down to quite a few off the back now at this point. So looking through, I am seeing about 20 riders in and amongst this front group right now. So does look like Scotty Weiss taking it fairly chill. Again, Lister, Mark Mitt though for HPP here. Now, that is a rider that I have not commentated on a whole lot, seen a whole lot in the Facebook groups, as they are really strong community members here. But here he goes, actually, off the front now with Beck. Knows the wheel to follow, so maybe Markman to be watching out for here. He's got 66 races out on Zwift. Reaching for HPP. It looks like he took a win, actually, in the KISS America's TT. Took a second in the ZHR Masters race, as well as a third in the Zwift Academy race back on October 3rd. So definitely something to watch out for. Taking a fifth in the KISS America's PM race as well. Mark Min in the A category. Definitely super strong rider here. Back now off the front with Min. This is a dangerous move, actually, they need to be watching out for. Some of the stronger riders that are in the pack, though, might be just waiting for that 10-second or so gap to make that moment happen that they need to. There's the pack just almost out of sight around the corner there, but if they give them about 10 seconds, there may be a sudden orange numbers attack. Now, I think some of the stronger riders, what they're thinking in their head at this point is allow it to go out to whatever it needs to go out for before the front end of the pack stops pulling at 5 to 6 watts per kilogram, because that's going to steadily just bring the rest of the group right on up to the wheels. But if you see an attack come out of that group like that, if you see the orange numbers go from the group, then you know there's a moment where they may go up to the group up ahead without pulling the entirety of the group right along with them. This is going to be a moment of truth, though, for all of the riders out on course now, because they are ramping up those heart rates. They are loading up those legs with massive amounts of lactate at this point, and they are going to be taking a left-hand turn into a climb here in just a moment. Dwayne Grant here now going off the front, aero power up, going early now before he even hits the uphill grind. 173 beats per minute, 400 watts, making sure he gets as much of a counterattack from Min and Beck's initial attack here. And now Clouty here following up out of Canada with B Bird there as well. Scotty Weiss still hanging on, and now it looks like A Chow right along with the Golden Retriever here on the back of this group. Now the attacks around the corner into the only climb proper out on course. Here goes Bird now. We'll give him a ride on there. 148 beats per minute, trying to close it down to Dwayne now, as we do have Losel as well as Pierre Ficati up toward the front. All the big hitters making themselves known. And now with that 5-second gap, I have a feeling as long as Gran can kick again, he has to kick again though, 7 watts per kilogram minimum, I would think, over the top of this climb. And there it is, A Chow now chowing down the watts, as you can see. Zimmerman going with Weiss, and now Catanzaro as well is there. The orange numbers are flying, boys and girls. All the avatars up and out of the saddle. And now Min, Chow, it's going to be Bird, KC, FTL is there as well. We do have Childer Hose as well as Timmons And then one off the back, just trying to hang on. Looks like it is going to be Makulu. Just a little bit off the back. 1 second is the difference. It looks like it may be 1 second too much, though. Walsh also falling off. Dowling. Looks like K. Ray. Another one bites the dust as we whittle this front group down a little bit more. Looks like Dwayne was caught now. Gran is now back into the group, but his little bit of a kick put a little bit more effort up toward the front of that pack now. And it is now all back together. About to finish up the second lap of 6 out here to D. B. Martin now calming down up toward the front of the group. Excuse me, B. Martin on the lap here. We have to remember that. Now B. Bird here right along with KC and Losel. That is the front end of this group as the big hitters start to take it a little bit easier. Back in with the women, though. What's happening amongst them? It looks like we do have still a group of 3 on the front here. Hunter, though, has been on the hunt. That's for sure. Trying to bring back those women who went early here. Now 4.6 watts per kilogram, 174 beats per minute. Riding for Team Fearless. It looks like in the front group there is also one rider, I believe, from Team Fearless. I'm thinking that Verna here, yep, is riding for Team Fearless. So she might not want to pull too hard at the front if she does want her teammate to come back into the group here. 4.3 watts per kilogram, just holding on to Fuller's wheel. And then it's going to be up to Beth as well as Fuller in order to really throw down the watts up toward the front of this group to hold off Hunter. While Verna perhaps going to be sitting in a little bit more and allowing maybe a few to come on back to them, at least her teammate, to make it a better chance, maybe more of a 50-50 then at that point for Fearless to take the win. Also maybe get some assistance at moments of suffering. But if Hunter comes back, she's going to have already thrown down huge amounts of power and effort into this race, and it might be a difficult day out there. We did accidentally bring in there's Nathan. Sorry about that, guys. So now now we are looking through here. It looks like Applebaum right on with Verna again up toward the front, and 174 beats per minute. See if anybody's looking very comfortable. It is going to be Verna here, 141. Looking through over at ZwiftPower.com real quickly, see what kind of races that she's had as of recently. Verna riding for Fearless, 4.4 watts per kilogram so far out on course. It is Laura Applebaum Verma, 11 races out on Zwift, an FTP of 272 watts as we can see here. And it is a win recently in the Zwift Academy women's climb workout. So that was a group workout, it looks like, that they were doing along with women's volcano hot laps out there. Took a win in Zwift Academy women's sprints too, so she's had quite a few W's there. A 10th place in the KISS America's PM race. Now, is that amongst the women or amongst all of the men as well? That was amongst the men and the women, a 10th place, and the #1 woman on the day in the A category. So Laura here, super strong rider, be watching out for, that's for sure. Maybe for the win out there amongst these ladies right now. A max heart rate for Laura looks like right around 154. So the highest heart rate we've seen from Laura out on Zwift is 154. For those of you who are wondering what's up with such a low heart rate, she might just have a very low max heart rate, since we've only seen 154 as the highest that it has gone out on Zwift with some serious efforts out there. So Beth York now 174 beats per minute there, and actually if that is her max heart rate, she is working pretty hard at this moment, because it is within about 14 beats, maybe even closer. And so knowing if it is 154, being within 10 of a max is a serious effort for anybody here. Now there are some attacks in the men's race though taking place as they come around the slowdown out there with 4 laps to go. They're starting up on their third here. We are seeing, it looks like, Scotty Weiss up toward the front. There was an attack there coming from, it looked like, the rider in what looks to be a 5-hour energy. Yeah, that is that a 5-hour energy kit actually? When did that jump in game? And looking through here, Scotty here now up toward the front. Another attack here coming from B Bird right along with Beck now as we look over his shoulder here. And it is going to be the Bird trying to fly away, but not happening. As we do have Golden Retriever, though, just hanging on. Bello here trying to grab onto that wheel, but it is over 8 meters. If they don't close it now, it's going to be game over as they're about to take that left-hand turn again into the most crucial point out on course with that 3% uphill gradient. Looking back through the social media integration here, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's our bird. Get clipping your favorite Go Zwift Crit Series moments at Z Community Live on Twitch with Twitch clips. Thanks a lot, Johnny, for the integration over there. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can. I'm not sure I can actually show this, play that through, but you can actually see the image there. So that is a great example right there. Over at Twitch, that's where you can find the clip on that lower right-hand part of the video. Go ahead and clip away. We might even get some incentives for you to create some clips here with some giveaways here for the best clip found through the week, perhaps around this. So, evening, Nathan T-Max Weiss for the win. Richard Morehouse is saying, good to see you there, Richard. Stopping in for the broadcast. We'll see if Weiss can throw down. We've also got, it looks like Casey Shum throwing down as well. Adrian Betty saying 500 watts. Laugh out loud. 500 watts real quick. Kicking. Not that big of a deal. We can throw down. I have plenty of riders that are out here that are going to be professional types are going to be able to throw down up into 1300 watts on a trainer for a sprint. So definitely doable. That is for sure. And that's what we have. Some awesome double checks from the community like zwiftpower.com to make sure that some of those strain gauge files have been sent over for that approval. It does look like we've whittled down quite a bit at this point. Looking all the way back to Purificati, 16th place. Litzter here as well, sitting in about 17th. 19th for Jay Plante here. Dwayne now sitting in 16th. Let's see, at the very back, we do have Lavoie here, sitting in 20th. So everybody in this group has now punched their ticket for at least 1 point in and amongst the E-Crit series right now. But it is going to be the top 3 from each region, I believe, plus 1 wild card that will be there as well. So looking through here, Scotty Weiss now 9.4 watts per kilogram going, and it looks like Weiss is on the attack and chasing down his wife actually out on course as he's going to come on by, give her a little tap of encouragement most likely, as there is going to be Katrina here just a little bit, a little ways up course here. If only you could give a push maybe a little bit. Well, maybe not. That wouldn't be exactly legal, most likely. As we do have Weiss, though, back now, right along with Los Catanzaro. And then it will be Real Deal Recent and Lavoie here as well. P. Custer now looking through. It looks like Timmons able to hang in. Now back into the Grupo Compacto. Nobody going anywhere just as of yet, as it looks like it's going to calm down again. Maybe one more time after this initial kick over the top of Whitehall and into the squares. They exit the square. A lot of times as they come through this section, they tend to get a little rowdy and want to speed up. At 29 miles per hour currently, 27:48 down so far, heading into lap 4 of 6 here. And we do have Weiss 5.3 watts per kilogram here. Looking through a few more of these riders that I'm not too familiar with. I want to see where Bird is standing for his past results, because this is a rider that looks fairly strong. 145 beats per minute, not too much of a spot of a bother for him so far. So looking through here over at the results right now, B Bird, the Big Bird, I'm assuming is what that might be standing for here. And it does look Bruce Bird here now, 32 races out of Canada. Took a second place there in the WBR 4 laps. Kiss America's 100K actually took a win. That is a serious effort. To win a 100K Kiss race is quite an accomplishment. I've been after those for quite a while. So that is a major effort there. 4.27 watts per kilogram for the duration, I believe, of that race. Absolutely killing it there. Bruce Bird here. Be watching out for him. Maybe for a little bit of a wild card amongst these riders out there. So estimated 406 watt FTP. So crazy efforts there coming from the big bird, Bruce Bird here out there. We do have Litzer as well coming out of Canada. Looking through the results for him, 21 races out on Zwift. It looks like a 5th place in the Kiss America's PM race just on the 27th actually of October, a couple days ago. Zwift Volcano race, the 3rd, as well as a win in WBR Flat 1. It looks like one lapper. So 21 races, a little bit newer to the world of racing out on Zwift. It looks like for Litster, but he is hanging out, it looks like, in that Quark kit. Most likely using a Quark then. Solid power source there. Watch out for this one to try and grab one of the spots up toward the top here. Looking through, we do have Timmins there as well out of the US of A. 9 races out on Zwift. Again, this is a perfect example where an amazing new program out on Zwift with the eCrit series is causing a lot of riders to come out of the woodwork and go for that final here. Now up toward the front, we are seeing Pierre Ficati around the corner there, be giving a little dig. Not going anywhere just yet. And Lavoie here, though, with that aero power up, reducing the drag on his avatar here and getting a little bit of a gap on the group, as you can see there. 4.8 watts per kilogram coming from him. Let's see if Lavoie has any past races out on Zwift. It does look like there was a 4th recently for him. 12 races, though, total coming out of Canada. EVR Americas with a win. That's a strong race. I mean, I ranked that EVR KISS, XRS, XRS ZTR, BRT, or the PRS races. You win any of those races, that's on the radar. For sure. ZHR Masters as well on the radar. But I mean, to take a win in both the Kiss America's PM as well as the Kiss America's EVR in the last week, I'd be watching out for this man, Marc-Andre Lavoie, with only 12 races out on Zwift. Maybe one of those we're speaking about coming out of the woodwork here and going to be showing that he's got the legs to throw down against these boys out here today. In amongst the women's race now, as things are calming down with the men here, the women now still with this group on the front, it is going to be Fuller now, right along with York and Verna, still sitting in 140 beats per minute all day long, it looks like, for Verna. There was an attack, it looks like, a little one over the top that has separated things out a little bit. It does look like the chaser, though, that was right on their heels, no longer in the game here that I can see, perhaps, or maybe has dropped off quite a ways back. It is Eppelbaum Verna, and then we do have Beth York there as well. Looking through, Carissa Min, Fuller is there. Hunter was hunting them down, and I'm not seeing Hunter, though, any longer in between these riders now at this point, but perhaps there's a couple too many men here interrupting out on course that are part of the race here. I'll see if I can move forward, and I can't without messing things up here. So Beaumont here right along with Fayetto, chasing things down, still sitting within, I believe, the top 6. Hunter is most likely still right along with them. As the men do go by here out on course, we'll quickly see what's going on with these attacks here. Jay McQuaid here right along with Zimmerman and Weiss as they head into lap 5 here shortly. They do grab a little bit of a gap, it looks like, here. And now we've got all kinds of mix-ups between the riders here. We'll see if we can find the men's here real quick. Again, it does look like Weiss here, 4.9 watts per kilogram, right along with Beck now up toward the front. Here we go again. Now all back together. Golden Retriever up toward the front here now. It looks like 2.4 watts per kilogram. 1 second back is Litzer. It looks like KC is still there. The big bird now. Bruce here able to hang on. Timmins is there. Mark Min, but it is going to be Cantanzaro. It seems like they drop 1, 2, or maybe 3 every lap and whittle it down just a little bit more. Back in with the women, though, as they are starting to climb into the same section out on course. It looks like it is going to be Beaumont, though, and Fideo here. Carissa's still sitting in the top 10 here. Way to go to Mrs. Min here now, as we do have Weiss along with Thompson from the BRT race, all within the top 10 still. Going to battle it out between these three for those points. Fideo here now, it does look like 3.8 watts per kilogram toward the front end of this, not wanting to be chased down by those three, but those three, if they're steady, 3.5 here from Weiss could bring back a few points, and every point is going to matter because from each region, it's only the top three. So every point matters, and they want to work together in order to grab those points up front. There are up front ahead of them, two or three points extra that they can grab if they catch that group and then drop that group, or at least give them a better chance. So these three are going to have a lot of motivation to be chasing those women up front that are Beaumont, and it will be Fideo here. Now looking forward, though, we're going to see if we can find the other section of the riders here that were up front. It is going to be, here we do have Fearless with Newsom, it looks like, Team Newsom, as well as Lavang. They are a little ways back actually from Min and the others at this point. So here we go. Now it is going to be Fuller along with York and Verna. This is the main lead group. I'm not sure what happened to Hunter. If anybody knows what happened to Hunter out on course, because she was on, it looked like, a mission to bring back this front group, but she has disappeared from the race at this point. Beaumont is there with Fideo taking up that 4th and 5th place spots right now, and Hunter has disappeared now from the group now, as they're no longer there. We are seeing some information here coming from production saying that Bruce Bird runs the Gray County Road Race, a UCI Gran Fondo World Series qualifier, actually. He's also a national champion in the Masters category and routinely hands it to local pros when he races the North American East scenes. So that's great information to have. The Big Bird Bruce, we're going to call him Big Bird now, because he definitely sounds like he's got some crazy ability on the bike from what I'm hearing here. So good to hear that he's showing up for the eCrit series, and I'm excited to see whether or not he can be in the final in January. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering what is going on here, these just look, is this guy like playing this game with a controller right now? What am I watching? I am not playing this game with a controller. I am spectating actual riders on real bikes hammering away at that are powering these avatars with real watts and real heart rates from all over the eastern side of North America right now. And this is a qualifying race. It's going to be 5 races from today through, 5 races every Monday from today through November 29th. So, and there's going to be series scoring these races for the top 10 amongst the entirety of North America. So they're fighting it out to be in the live event in January, actually getting an invite to that, to the top 3 from each one of the regions. So this is the North America's East race, and we'll be heading into the Central and then right on into the West region as well immediately after that. So tune in all night long. We've got Zwift racing here for you on the London course for the duration of the night. And I'm sure a lot of these riders, as they're cooling down and getting their recovery food, are going to be here hanging out watching who their competition might be at the final in January. Now we do have back here 3.5 watts per kilogram sitting in ODZ as we get back in with the men's race. The women now still calm down a little bit at this point. They still have about 2.5 laps to go, but back in with the men. They are heading into a lap and a half to go at this point. Pierre Ficati still in there. The first winner of a CVR World Cup, actually, as you can see, 3.6, 3.5. He went to the line with Shane Miller in Vegas, actually. He's familiar with what it takes to win a live event and be excited to see Pierre Ficati, who is actually racing at the elite level in real life, actually. And we are seeing KC here, FTL, Mark Min, Scotty Weiss, all in there. Scotty Weiss, former world champion at the Masters level, in there, riding for Team Experimental right now. Dwayne Grant still in there. And the Big Bird Bruce here now sitting toward the front now, 4.3 watts per kilogram. But here come the watts at the front now. Weiss now, this is a real attack. And no, it was just following it up. I thought when I saw the 15 watts per kilogram, Scotty was going for it. But nope, nothing just as of yet. But when Scotty throws down, I have a feeling it's going to be all in. And we're gonna have a lot of riders just looking to follow up. Now the question is, who has the Aero Power Up out there today? Amongst this top 15 to 20 so far, who's your favorite? Let me know who is going to take the win in the North American East. I'd love to hear your opinion. Go ahead and comment over at the Facebook or tweet at ZCommunityLive, at ZCommunityLive. Who's going to take the W as we head in to the final lap here? Bruce Bird now back up toward the front right along with Lavoie now. Hasn't lost a race in a couple of races out on Zwift just of yet. All the Canadian flags here hammering away, but maybe in a spot of bother here. Not feeling great just yet because he's actually throwing down that Aero Power Up pretty early here. And now we do have Clouds here right along with Zimmerman. Now the Birds here as well. Zimmerman, Real Deal Racing though with EVO now going 181 beats per minute, 640 watts. 181 is absolute suffering, you guys. I mean, if his max heart rate is right up in the 190s, this boy is feeling the pain right now. But Weiss now 171. This is an effort from Weiss here. He doesn't beat too much higher than this now. Weiss now 4.9 watts per 172, making sure he's positioned well. Nobody going anywhere just yet. So it is going to be Timmins. KC though off the back, another one bites the dust. Shot there as well. Timmins now off the back. Now it's all about holding on to the finish line for those points. They're still in the top 20. They got to finish it out though. It's still about a lap and a half to go. Low Cell is here now. Real Deal, Beck, McQuaid, Cloutier, Weiss now at the front. 5.0. Chilling it on down, letting that heart rate fall. Johnny Noblet now coming in here with a Big Bird for the win. His prediction is that Bruce is going to be taking it for Canada maybe today. Big Bird for the win. Jamie Goodson saying Scotty is got this. So Jamie's prediction is that it is going to be Mr. Scotty Weiss. Who do you think is going to take it out there today? They got about one lap to go. One lap to go after this 1 kilometer to go banner. So here we go with McQuaid now with an early attack. Actually, no, it's a response to Beck. Pro mountain biker C Beck here now getting away with 8.1 watts per kilogram, 161 beats per minute. Weiss trying to follow this up. This is going to be the attacks into the final. I think quite a few legs are been softened up at this point. 5 Hour Energy Man here, Losell now, right along with Cloutier, will be Zimmerman, 5.5, 5.6, 7 watts per kilogram. The attacks are coming fast and fierce left and right, and they're not even into the final lap yet. And we do see the Golden Retriever chasing down the bone, not quite able to hang on, just barely there, 106 RPM. Mark Min is there still as well. HPP Racing now 182 beats per minute, not falling off just yet. Let's see if he can hang on all the way through to the finish line. Where are the Aero Power-Ups? And we are seeing Casey Shum with a snide little comment here. Will Bird use his wing power-up? Is that even legal? Last lap coming up. What's your predictions, boys and girls? Bring them right on through and let us know. We are seeing SW all the way. Team Experimental. What Casey Shum thinks it will be. All right, see back here now. We are seeing, again, toward the front, 6.2 watts per kilogram. What's his recent results been out on Zwift? We do know that he's super strong rider in real life with some solid results on some of those more endurance-based, I believe, races in real life. Riding from the East Coast for ODZ here, and it looks like back here, United States, 167 races out on Zwift here, and we are seeing a win in the ZHR Masters Atlantic race, actually. A lot of WVR flats and fours here, 4 and 1 lap wins, actually. XRS, though, ZTR Tuesday Night Worlds back on the 26th, about a month ago, took a win in that. That's a serious win, actually, to take an XRS race to a race that he shows up to. He took a Kiss America's 4th as well. Kiss Europe race took a 5th there back on the 3rd of October. That was a solid race. I remember actually commentating on that one. So it is starting to break up a little bit here. Clouds here now 6.1. Watch per kilogram just trying to hang on as they attack again into the final lap. Last lap, boys and girls. Here we go. Beck now 3.9. Jardine now at the front on the lap, though, actually. Pierre Ficati sitting pretty calm here. We're going to get back in with the women here, though, as they are starting to get into their final lap and a half here as well. It is going to be Fuller as the boys take the turn. They're calming down and there isn't going to be too much of an attack at this point. So it is going to be Fuller right along with Verna and York still all together. Not too many attacks just as of yet. The boys now right behind them there as we can see. And now it is going to be 173 beats per minute currently for Beth here. What has their results been like recently? That's going to be my question for York now. As we do see Beth York here for PTZ, the Team Portugal. 38 races for Beth out on course here, and it looks like the Odivas race took a second actually back on August 9th, as well as a second back on August 5th actually in Odivas ladies race. A fourth place also in Odivas back on the 7th of October. So a couple of solid results for her as of recently. Looking through, we also have for Verna. We did say, I think earlier, she's got 11 races out on Zwift. Beth has a solid 38 races, though. I think probably one of the higher numbers of races there amongst the ladies out there. 7 races for Svetlana Yavakhand, actually, here, coming out of the US of A here. Oh, Diva's latest race with a win, actually. So I'd be watching out for her as well. Fuller there is definitely going to be one that could take the W here. She's got nothing but wins in most of the races that she's jumped into. Actually, she's won every race that she has been in as of recently out on Zwift. So Verna and her definitely going to be the strong women to be watching out for out on course today. It does look like Verna here possessing her well here up toward the front. They will have 1 lap to go still, though. 1 lap to go still after this one, lap and a half or so. The boys now positioning themselves well as there are some attacks starting to take place as they roll up to this same section of the course. Actually, you can see them 2 seconds back there. There's Real Deal Racing and the others. As they come through, we'll swap on over to the boys' perspective, get their sprint, and then come right on back to the women for their final here. But we do have one racer here actually with a little bit of a gap here in the men's race, actually, as they make their left-hand turn into the main place out on course that you do usually see some of these attacks, actually. Now we do have, it looks like Real Deal Racing going early, actually, and 5.1 watts per kilogram. He's got a gap at this point, 185 beats per minute. Can he hold on to it? McQuaid is going now as well. There is the arrow power up, actually, and now McQuaid kicks as well. 8 watts per kilogram here. Here comes Weiss now, 10 watts per kilogram as well. This is going to be a full-on drag race all the way to the line. There's not a whole lot of teams to do the lead-out trains and keep the pace high. Weiss now 10 watts per kilogram, not continuing on. There's no continuance, just looking for the sprint perhaps. No, back into 11, holding on to that arrow. Perhaps I did not see a power-up from him at this point. Real Deal Racing, Lavoie's there as well. Big Bird, Mark Min. It looks like Bruce able to hang on. The Bird's there, but Litzter now off the back. Unable to hang on to the boys. ODZ is still there with 2, though. Pierre Ficati back there now as well. Broadman here from the TFC here has already been dropped off. They're about to be lapped here, it looks like here. Mark Min, Golden Retriever, all together. All these boys within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 10. This is top 10. All of them getting about 20 to 10 points. Those are solid points in a series of 5 races out there. So we'll see how this ends up playing out amongst them here for who's going to take those 20 points and try and punch that ticket in this 5-week series here. Now Bird now up toward the front. Pierre Ficati going really early, and this is within the final K, boys and girls. He does not want a sprint. Back now What's Beck doing? Is he chasing his teammate? No, he's not here. Pierre Ficati here. What he's doing is he's trying to soften the legs of the other riders to set up Beck. That is what he's doing here. Beck's going to follow the wheels now at this point. What a team tactic. What an effort here from ODZ. Pierre Ficati playing the sacrifice, looking to try and grab the win. He did the same thing in London, but it was not in London, in Richmond, out on the CVR Las Vegas World Cup, and he got away for a full lap, but this is very different. Can he go full on lead out style, Brett Boniface like ODZ, looking to play the ODZ car here. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, but it's about to ramp up. It's the final right here. Where is Weiss? Here comes Lavoie. He's about to lead out. There's Weiss. 14 watts per kilogram, boys and girls. He is going now, as you can see, with the aero power up. He is gone, and Weiss hunting him down, flies right on by. Pierre Ficati fading 6 watts per kilogram. Nothing left in the legs. Weiss is gone. Zimmerman now coming on though as well. Can Pierre Ficati kick again? It's not going to happen. Here comes Zimmerman. Weiss is gone. He's already won it. Losell now is there out of Canada. Weiss, Losell, Zimmerman, followed by the big bird Bruce. Then it will be Dwan Grain for 5th place. Cloutier, McQuaid, and then Lavoie, I believe, back there, unable to grab that spot. Pierre Ficati now off the back. It was well played, but I think the kick from Weiss just blew everything apart, and nobody even knew how to respond. Scotty Weiss for the win out there today. We'll get back into the race results specifically from ZwiftPower.com in just a moment, but the women are now starting up their final lap out on course here. So now we're back in with, it looks like, Verno right along with Fuller. Looks like York now just hanging on the back here, looking for a good position. Looks like 170 beats per minute still coming from Beth York here. Vernon now starting to kick. 1 lap to go here. 5 watts per kilogram here coming from Fuller now. And York's going to have to play it smart. Position well to not get dropped off from this main group now. Amongst the boys, we do have a couple of sprints maybe coming in for those next spots. We'll have to wait and see as they make their way to the line. There's still a few points up for grabs, actually, as we do have P. Custer here making his way to the line. I have a feeling perhaps still within the top 20. What a sprint effort. Who was able to get it? Get it, Scotty there. Coming from Jamie Goodston there. Beck for the win. He is on fire right now, Eric Schmidt. You know, they tried playing it very tactical, and I think the jump just came on so fast and so furious. And I think also this eCrit series is ramping together a ton of super strong powerhouses. And I think the sprints are going to be some of the fastest that we've ever seen out on Zwift. I have a feeling that because of the level of talent and the level of wattages that we are going to see from these riders at that top level looking to get into this final, you're going to have a very different tactic than you usually see out on Zwift for that. Well played, DSW. Anthony Porsche says the DSW all the way team experimental attacks with 1 lap to go. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. ZCL Productions in the background for tweeting that out for us. All right, looking through here now, we do see it is going to be still Verna just hammering away at the front here. She's within 10 beats of her max heart rate at this point at 145, actually. So Fuller here now heading toward the front as well, sitting at 166th. Beth York now is now sitting in at 171. Does Beth have a mohawk on her avatar? She does have a mohawk. That's freaking awesome. It looks like, I love that. So Beth now hammering away. We're going to call her Mohawk now, it looks like. And now Verna now up toward the front here, 144 again all together. The hunt is gone from the hunter, but it does look like it is going to be Fearless here with Beaumont as well as Fideo here, but almost caught by Levain. Or is that correct? No, been lapped by Levain. Levain's been lapped, it looks like, actually, but we do have a BRT rider here just a little ways off the back, right along with Carissa Min looking for that top 10. Katrina Weiss, though, still hanging tough in here as well. Thompson, and then the BRT rider here. Beaumont now up toward the front right along with, it looks like, Fideo here. And then Levain here about 12 seconds back here. Going to have about, I believe, 2 laps to go out on course. Fideo now staying tough, though. This is your top 5 amongst the women right here. Beth still sitting in. It's about half a lap to go. No attacks just yet. I think they're leaving it for the sprint to the line. And seems difficult to get gaps on this course, Steven Shen says. Yes, it is definitely extremely difficult. Just like in crit racing, though, it's definitely right along the similar lines to crit racing in real life, as it is very difficult to get away out on this course here. This is the women's race we are looking like here at Fideo here, coming along, just starting their lap though, right below me here, as we are able to get a couple of the other racers come on through. Adam Zimmerman saying that was cool listening to live while racing. Adam, we'll keep on coming at you with it every week all the way through the 29th. So looking through here though for the women now as they make their way to the line. Verna still chilling at the front. 5.1. Still, I don't know if she's chilling any longer though. She seems to be ramping it up though, little by little here. So looking through at the results though, zwiftpower.com is where we are getting these, as looks like, actually we're not going to go over there just yet, as it does look like an attack is starting here from Verna. 5.5 watts per kilogram, 5 points, actually almost up in the 6, 150 beats per minute. Fuller here trying to hang on. Beth is being dropped off at this point, 174 beats per minute. Not sure she's gonna be able to close it down. She'd have to stand up and go at this point to close that down. It looks like Verna able to really ramp it up. 153 though. She's almost to the max heart rate we've ever seen for her out on Zwift right now. 324 watts. She's absolutely suffering trying to make this break take place right now. Fuller there, 7.4 watts per kilogram, now closing it down with that feather power up, goes right on by here. Verna now faded. It looks like Fuller looking to be taking the win today in the women's race. Doesn't look like Fearless can respawn, as we do have Fuller getting away here, stuck at that 153. That's all it seems she can throw it down, is right there in the lead of this race right now. We've got 5 minutes though to the start of the next race. Actually, we're going to jump into the pens actually for the next race for the men. Just looks like we have 20 signed up so far for the men's race in the Central, actually. So we're about to start that up. We're going to catch the finish of this women's race. Then we're going to jump right on in to the start of the men's over there, though. So now we are going to at least catch the finish, though, here. We do have Fuller here off the front there. 4.8 watts per kilogram right now. 23.1 miles in so far. We do have Olart here sitting on the wheel there out of Spain, it looks like. Solid effort from him so far. And it looks like Verna here, 4.5 watts per kilogram, able to hold off Beth La York here. That is going to be your top 3 so far. And it looks like just a little ways up, 4.3 still. Coming from her, able to drop off Verna. I thought Verna was going to take the W for sure. It's not over just yet, though. Maybe too much effort from Fuller so far, as they're starting to make their way to the line. 1K to go. 1K to go, about 2 minutes or so of racing left to go. Real quickly, let's take a look at the results from the men's race before we switch races, because we're going to go right on in to the race for the men's and the women's in the crit here in just a moment, in the e-crit series for the men and the women in just a moment. Before the final here, we did have Scotty Weiss followed by Eric Losell. Then it would be Adam Zimmerman here. Bruce Bird for 4th, Juan Grain for 5th, and then Jim McQuaid for 6th. Fred Cloutier, Chris Beck, Mark Lavoie, and then Mark Min. Justin Pifricati, 11th. Ed Veal, Golden Retriever, Sean Litzer. And then it was all the way to Frank Timmons, Brad Chant, and Peter Custer, all the way down to Andrew there. Now, coming into the final there for the women here, we do have, it looks like, all back together. Verna made the catch now. Fuller's going to have to make this happen. Here comes a kick from Broadman, actually. And no, we don't want to go just yet. Just give us a second. 26 seconds now. Verna now here up toward the front. It looks like she is going to take it at the line, perhaps. Looking through. And it looks like, oh man, we need broadcast tools, boys and girls. Here we go. Verna here. Evan Baum takes the W, followed up by Fuller. Now we're jumping right on into the next event here, boys and girls, as we make our way back into the pens as the women are warming up for the Central race. So that's it for the results here. We did have, as you did see there, Scotty Weiss, Eric Losell, all the way through for the top 20. You just saw the top 3 come across the line. It will be, I believe it was Fuller, followed up by Verna, and then Beth Lar York. We'll have to wait for the finals, though. Fidel and Beaumont are going to battle it out. But we'll be right back with the central race. I am Nathan Garrett coming at you from Zwift Community Live, and that was the North America East region. Central coming right on up. And welcome back, everybody. I'm Nathan Guerra coming at you from Zwift Community Live, and this is the Zwift E-Crit Series, the central race presented by CycleOps. Racers have gotten out onto the course. Looks like they're starting to hammer away here already. A solid 48 racers showed up for the men's race. The women's race, a little bit lonely out there with one racer showing up. She's going to snag herself a solid 20 points toward that final. Central racers, you got a race to jump into with a lot of points up for grabs for an invitation to the final. Looks like 2 more spots up for grabs there. So KB's are solid job showing up. Looks like she's gonna be chasing down the men today. But in the men's race, they have started up out on course here. We do have Rex here, Schumacher here up toward the front, right along with D. Schaefer, Matt Johnson, ODZ showing up in force here in these America's races here. Busam also from the BRT here, as we can see now with T. Sullivan, Team EN here. Johnny Rocket from the KRT team here now. Also Casey Shum, there coming out of Illinois right now for the Central race, now starting to hammer away 155. Watch out for Team Experimental to take the third win of the day. It was Kim Little, it's Scotty Weiss, Will, Casey Shum, Team Experimental be able to make it a three-peat there in the E-Crit series here today. It'd be pretty cool actually for his team to make that happen here. But we've got quite a few other boys out on course here looking to make something of that. Hey, Rolling is here as well. I'd be watching out for Rolling, coming from the Netherlands but residing here in the US of A. This is one of the strongest boys I've ever seen out on a bike in real life, so watch out for Rolling here. This is if this is who I think it is, he top level inline rollerblader who then came over to the bike and did some Saturday morning worlds with us. I've been on the bike with this boy quite a lot, and when it just comes to big watts, I'd be watching out for Rolling to maybe roll off the front here. And that's how he's won a lot of the crits here locally. Tour of America's Dairyland, actually. If this is the individual I'm thinking of here, he has actually taken that jersey actually in towed. So watch out for Rolling to demolish some of the competition perhaps today. My prediction is that he will be in at least the top 5. Maybe not super experienced though with Zwift racing. We'll have to wait and see here. Gonna go ahead and open up the Central race here today though. Out of North America over on ZwiftPower.com. That's where they will be tracking it. Looks like Rolling here with no past races out on Zwift either, or not connected with ZwiftPower.com. So again, it's going to be about experience out on the course here today. Here it will be Busom here from the BRT now, with Casey Shum now going as well, 6.4 watts per kilogram up toward the front here. Busom now from the BRT racing team, the Bolt racing team, in that power tap kit that they like to use here. Now with the women though, want to make a quick awesome mention here. Lots of ride-ons. Let's go ahead and encourage on Kay Beezer here as she is making her way around course. Give her all the ride-ons that you can, boys and girls. She's going to have a long solo TT here, chasing down the boys up ahead. Kay Beezer here, great job showing up and pressing on. You got 20 points at the end of the day here for punching your ticket to the final here. Kim Beezer, 45 races out on Zwift, it looks like here, racing currently in the A and B categories. It looks like Odiva's race here with a solid 7th place actually in the last one that she did here. So great job to Kim, and we'll be following along with her effort as she tries to chase down the boys up ahead here. Back in with the men though, as we do have, it looks like C. Richards Moriarty, he is here as well. And then it will be Yutaka out of Japan, actually. I wonder if he's actually residing in North America some way and just has the flag for identification there, right along with Boone then, 3.1 watts per kilogram now. Rick Barbera is here from the KRT team, actually. Good to see him hanging out amongst the boys. He was just hanging out watching the broadcast a moment ago. 3.0 watts per kilogram, 166 beats per minute coming from him. As we look through here, then it will be Robinson here, ZCS off the back though, unable to hold on now. Rolling maybe with a little bit of inexperience with the Zwift racing. He's gonna have to kick it up here. 7 watts per kilogram real quick, 8.3 watts per kilogram now. I have a feeling not raced out on Zwift too many times before. He's gonna need to close this down quickly and not allow that gap to open up again. Just a quick little tip. Don't ever be calm about how strong those are up ahead of you and around you. You've got an international level, well, North American, all of North America, excuse me, level of riders around you here, as this is an E-Crit series for the Central region. But definitely be attentive to the reality that this pack will fly away from you, and you have to go way over effort to get them back within reach. But when you're sitting in, definitely acts like the draft in real life, where you get a whole lot of rest while sitting into the group. Matt Johnson here from ODZ. always with those killer attacks in the last finals. Be watching out for him as they start their first of 6 laps out here for some crazy attacks out on course, as he usually has a solid kick to the line. Casey Shum, though, is one of these riders who is so experienced out on Zwift. He rides and runs out in Zwift almost daily. And I think his ability to know what to do when and know how to use the game mechanics might put him in a good place to try and take the W and be consistent, at least for a top 3 placing in the series, especially amongst the Central here, as the races that he usually takes place in are going to be a little bit more spread, like the abilities are going to be worldwide, and since he just has to race against North American Central, he most likely will have a solid chance here for grabbing those top 3 positions consistently here throughout the series. If you would like to interact with the broadcast out there today, make sure to go ahead and interact with us either by tweeting at ZCommunityLive, or go ahead and comment over on the Facebook, as you can do so with any comments or questions at those places. That is the best way to get live interaction with our broadcast here. Any questions or comments, or you want to tell us who your favorite racer is, we love to interact with the community. It is the best way a lot of times to get live information from us here at ZCL. We've got a couple of more comments here coming through from Team ODZ. Great racing, exciting finish as Pierre Ficati and the SW came across the line. Anthony Vegan Porsche, who actually took 4th place in the Aussie E-Crit series, is saying that in the Australian E-Crit, there was only 2 occasions where a brake stuck on the London course. And there was over 5 months of racing. So definitely a difficult course to get away on, actually. And definitely going to be a hard day for these riders today to try and make something happen. We'll have to see if they can work it out to try and get away here. Carissa, good to see you there, as don't ever be calm. Nathan, what's going on with that? What's that quote all around? When that broadcast started, I saw a look of Groundhog Day in Nathan's face. Johnny is saying, I think we are going to have that a little bit of Groundhog Day over and over again here today. A little bit of a break though between, maybe I can actually eat dinner tonight. We'll have to see how that works out. So no, of course, I'm loving it though. All right, back up toward the front here with, it looks like Rolling actually figuring out that, okay, you don't ever want to be at the back of the crit, just like real life crit racing. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. That's how it works in the racing out on Zwift as well here. T. Sullivan from Team EN is here. C. Meza Moriarty here out of the US of A. Busam here now out of the BRT team now. Kicking a little bit as well, but not going anywhere. This is the favorite spot to attack though. Shum now setting himself up, it looks like, well, from Team Experimental now. As we look through, there is a ZA kit coming right on by with Rex Schumacher here now. This is a rider I'm wondering about. I'm unfamiliar with Schumacher here. I definitely want to see what the past results are for him as he makes his way up over the top of this favorite attack spot out on course here. On a Smart Trainer right now, has 1 win in the past, it looks like. 27 races out on Zwift. Looks like maybe a mountain biker out of the US of A. Top 5 here in the WBR3 Labs PRS Project Race Series with a 12. Took a win, though, in the B race there for the KISS Americas. Not in an A race, though, so he's maybe going to have his work cut out for him for a podium here. He attacked early. Now he's going to have to hang on. Little sip of the water bottle there. Not sure it's going to happen. They're starting to walk away. Shum is there now on the front, pushing the pace with Takuko here out of Japan. Probably demolish that name there, but we do have, it looks like, Shaitov as well. Zvaitov here coming out of America as well here, US of A. Unfamiliar with this rider. He's got no past results that we can look at, actually, so maybe a wild card for the day here. Now looking through, we're going to see what Richards has been up to, as we are seeing 70 races out on Zwift. Cyclocrosser, it looks like here, Chad Richards here, recently took a lot of solid B results. Got an upgrade to the A category with a solid 4.4 watts per kilogram in a lot of the races he's done recently into that A category here. So watch out for Chad here. Richards there. Solid FTP of 229 though. So we'll have to see if perhaps that's going to come up throughout the race today. See Mezin now up toward the front here in that training peaks kit now, as they make their way around out on course. About 15 riders left in this front group right now. Gonna go ahead and see what's happening with Meza, as I'm unfamiliar with Meza as well. A lot of riders that are gonna be new to our radar as far as who's who amongst the riders here. 3.8 watts per kilogram here coming from Meza now. 6.7 miles in. 1 lap down and 5 to go. 1 lap down and 5 to go out there today. Kim Beezer still hammering away, it looks like here. Solo TT effort. She is chasing down one of the boys out there. It looks like Claiborne here is going to be working right along with her as she makes her way around course here. 1 second up, it is going to be B. Claiborne right along with Peterson. See trying here a little ways up from them. Beezer's been solid though so far. 3 to 4 watts per kilogram all day long, 170 beats per minute. She's putting in that solid TT effort and earning those points today. It doesn't look like she's just going to take it easy to the line. So kudos to her for that. And we're excited to see how this turns out. How many, now I think it's going to be how many of the boys can she pick off one by one by one by one. Each one of them is going to be a goal up ahead of her to continually take down here. 169, 170 beats per minute from Kim. Nice job out there to Kim. And make sure to be giving her some rides on as she is in that solo TT all day long. Back in with the boys up toward the front as they just come through the start finish line. There's going to be S. Busam from the BRT now. 154 beats per minute. We're waiting for ZwiftPower.com to load up here, as for some reason our live results. Oh, here we go. Here is the live results as they're coming in. And we do have, it looks like, Jay Boone is here as well out of the US of A. Justin Boone. Now, these are going to be riders that we need to be getting familiar with as well as we make our way through all of these races. Justin here, 9 races out on Zwift, looks to be a mountain biker as well out of the area here. Castelli Ride Series, a 3rd place in the B category though. So maybe some spots up for grabs in the B category here amongst these racers here. T. Sullivan from Team EN then is there. Right, Tim Sullivan coming out of the US of A. 73 races out on Zwift. Took a win in the TBR Turbo Thursday race, actually, in the A category back on the 26th. Kiss America's PM and Kiss Europe race with some top 20s and top 10s there as well. So looking through those results, solid there for T. Sullivan. S. Vusam here now. It looks like for BRT, that is going to be Scott Busam. He's got a very interesting Strava profile pic, but 287 watt FTP it looks like. Took a second in the WBR 4 lap now. And we're just looking for some of the wild cards here, maybe out on course. Matt Johnson, definitely going to be one of the favorites, right along with Casey Shum. I do know for sure that Rolling is a super strong rider in real life, and Barry Rolling here is still up toward the front of the race right now, if that is who I think it is. Rick Barbera, also watch out for KRT anytime there's a KRT kit out on course here. G. Leo here, riding for draft now. It looks like with the bike and beers kit. That's a great name with the bikes and beers kit, actually. Draft. Absolutely perfect, actually. Now Schwartz there as well out of the US of A. And G. Leo here. Let's go ahead and see what Leo's got. It is going to be Greg Leo out of the United States. 111 races out on Zwift. Took a 4th in the SCTT Sporting Course TT Series. A couple of wins. SCR Autumn Race Series, a 17th. So and a 16th in there as well. Looks like he's focusing in on the SCR series a little bit. Not too many wins out there recently, but in the watts per kilogram racing league stage 1, he did take a 4th actually. So that's a solid result. So be watching out for G. Leo here for team draft right now. Looking through, we are also seeing, it looks like, Mike Schwartz here for GDVC. And 290 watt FTP took a third here in the EVR Europe race. So that is some of the bigger hitters here amongst the riders here. Johnny Rocket, though, 2 KRT boys. Maybe watching out for KRT. We'll be playing some team tactics. 156 beats per minute. Barbera here also in at 160 right now. So perhaps Rick Barbera and the Rocket Johnny going to be trying to play some team tactics here. Jay Boone already off the back, it looks like here. 4.1 watts per kilogram coming from him, trying to work with Robinson and getting away just now. Mezin now 5.2 up toward the front. Busam here from the BRT team as they head into their second time through Whitehall right now. Definitely going to start to see the numbers kick up here. So looking through here, we are seeing Shum might be a safe bet, but my money is on the dark horse, Greg Leo, for the win. So Scott C here is saying the dark horse is going to be Mr. Greg Leo. That we were just looking at his results actually out on Zwift. So Scott C cheering on, it looks like his mate Leo there for the W out on Zwift. Let us know who your favorite is. We do have the social media interactions coming right on through. If you're unfamiliar with what's going on right now or what Zwift is, here's a quick little highlight of exactly what it looks like to be doing Zwift. I'm not actually controlling this game with controllers. These are real riders on real bikes from all over the world with real heart rates and real power being recorded right now. Get training at Zwift.com. Just remember to stop, but don't stop right now because you are watching the Zwift eCrit Series North America presented by CycleOps. Right now we are doing the Central Region, and this is going to include Michigan, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Mississippi, and Alabama for the U.S. Out of Canada, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Out of Mexico, it will be Chihuahua, Nayarit, Sinaloa, and Baja California for the sections of North America that you can be in to qualify in this race specifically. For the final top 3 out of that region, of this region, at the end of the 5-week series of races, will be able to be invited to the final. So back into the racing with the men here. They are about to start up their last 14 miles. So they're going to be having 4 laps to go out on course here today. We still have T. Sullivan from EN here up toward the front here. We did just hear a prediction coming that G. Leo from Draft is maybe going to get the W. At least Scott C says. Casey Shum, though, is also one of the favorites out there today. I wouldn't be counting out Schwartz, though, as well as the big man Mike Johnson there, coming from ODZ with a final attack to the line. Matt Johnson here from ODZ. And we've seen attacks from Matt here a lot of times on some downhill sections with that aero power up, kind of an Allenby-esque style. At least one of the first races we ever saw take advantage of how strong that aero power up is on the downhill. But look at how calm everything is. Wes and I were commentating on the EU Crit Series earlier, and we were chatting a little bit about how, because there's so much more on the line, you may see a lot more holding hands and a lot higher attacks when the attacks happen. That the attacks, when they do happen, are going to be full force, everything you got, and just laying all the chips on the table And when they're not attacking, people are going to be trying to reserve as much energy as possible. And speaking of, here we go. Here goes Leo here, 11 watts per kilogram. Shum goes right on with him now. They've been so calm. It was all the way down into that, 130 heart rates from some of them. Some of the riders probably just get antsy with how calm it's been. Bosom now going right along with them. It does look like Meza. Moriarty is there as well. Hepner actually didn't even realize that this racer was in there, coming out of Canada now, following it right on up. But there's a gap here, 4 seconds as they come around this section with that gap. If they kick again right now, this actually slows the riders down. As you can see, they came down to 20 miles per hour. Now they're going to have to kick again in order to get that speed right back up. G-Leo goes again, 26 miles per hour immediately. KRT off the back now. They're going to have to work together to bring this back. It is 2 seconds up to Hepner, who's closing it down now. It is also still 2 seconds up to Shum. Shum continues on, 182 beats per minute, making things exciting now at the front of this race. BRT has made it. Mez is there. Now we do have Moriarty. It looks like Hepner now as well. There is the lead group now. There's the gap that has formed. Sullivan at the front now, trying to pull that in. Look at the group. It's not a massive group at this point. It's not 30 plus. We're looking at 5 or 6 off the front. Now about 7 trying to chase, but a few off the back at this point. They are all in on this attack, and it is working. Central is heating up now, boys and girls, looking for those points at the front of this race. Matt Johnson now from ODZ up and out of the saddle, 7 watts per kilogram. Shvaitov is there as well out of the US of A. Barbera now. Barbera sitting in. KRT. Where is Johnny Rocket? Rex Schumacher off the back. Rolling now off the back. Takaku here is now as well off the back. Richards off the back. Off the back. Off the back all day long. But Rocket has made it. Hepner, Moriarty, Barbera just barely getting back on. It looks like it's calming down. Richards going to be able to pull it back in, but they've dropped a few off by about 20 seconds. Not sure they're going to see the front of this race again. Now, Utaka now, followed by Bosom. Now it's going to be up front. Matt Johnson calming things down. A few of these riders now, those heart rates have come up. A match has been burned. When they take that left-hand turn into Whitehall, it is going to be a suffering climb up and over the top there with Meza here, Bosom, and then Hemke. Absolutely. Wattage bazookas being thrown down. Shum along with Leo really instigated that, as Sullivan here with Johnny Rocket, Moriarty, and Richards all still back together, but it's still kind of strung out. I think they're looking for that reprieve. But that's the thing about racing out on Zwift. You never get a full-on reprieve. You always are still kicking just a little bit to hold on to the pace. It's steady, steady, steady. And those who are very familiar with riding out on Zwift and very familiar with racing on Zwift know that steady all day long tempo pace plus attacks, that's what makes it such an amazing workout here. Meza now up toward the front here. Shum now as well. Leo, are they going to attack again? Where's the counter there? Matt Johnson, ODZ, with that counter here. It looks like 7.3 watts per kilogram. Moriarty is now going right along with him. 9.5. The orange numbers are being thrown down. Johnson up and out of 7. Head down there from Moriarty. Johnson now as well. Head down on that Tron bike here. Comes from the BRT. Johnny Rocket there from KRT on the pink bike now from the Tron world, from the world of the Trons. Now here we go with Sullivan now. Richards now. Shum, Hemke there. Leo all off the back a little bit though. Barbera doing everything he can to hang on. Utaka going around saying hold the wheel because you're letting him go here. Barbera now next one to bite the dust. Where is Shum? It looked like he was at the back. No, there was just a little mistake there in the rider's orders. Casey still in and amongst them there, but I think we've got the selection of around the top 11 or 12 riders. As now another attack here. Meza goes again, 188. He's already at such a high heart rate, but he's trying to counter. He's really trying to put the efforts in here. And this is how you break people on Zwift. You attack, you attack, you attack. Aggression is rewarded in this game. If you attack once and you just try and hold on to that pace and then you just dangle off the front, it's like any other racing situation in real life. But if you attack and then sit in, and attack, and then sit in, and attack, and sit in. You actually are rewarded more in Zwift from those efforts, actually, it seems to me. After watching so many races on Zwift, commentating so many races on Zwift, racing so many races, what I've seen is that if you continually push the pace like that over and over again, and you force the riders to go over FTP, to continually force them to go into a sprint effort, eventually their legs will load up too much. And if you can handle those kinds of efforts, it will be rewarded eventually. Now, you might blow yourself up off the back, though, if you cannot handle them yourself here. Now, we are seeing Johnny Rocket back on terms. Barbera, though, 30 seconds off the back. Takuka now off the back as well. Rex is there as well, rolling off the back as well. That is the situation currently, as the next one's to bite the dust. Now attacking again, we are seeing Meza here. He is so instigating now at this point. Johnson now going as well. ODZ kicking, going in to the last 3 laps here. We are seeing, it looks like Moriarty trying to close it down. 6.1 watts per kilogram. There's the pack now trying to chase it down. Matt Johnson now looking steady on the front there. 5.2 watts per kilogram. That's what we're talking about. If that group gets organized behind and they start chasing him and he just dangles out there, he will suffer for that, I believe. But Moriarty here having to throw it on a little bit. Shum now sitting in, as you can see. Moriarty now going again, though. 5.9 watts per kilogram. 33 miles per hour. Hepner now sitting in. Now Hepner, this is a name that I want to watch out for, as it sounds slightly familiar to me for one of the top dogs from some of the races we used to broadcast here, perhaps here. Clayton Hepner here, 12 races out of Canada. Took a win here in the B category, actually. XRS, he got an upgrade, though, back on the 6th of October. He's only raced twice, actually, this season. This Zwift season. Last time we saw him was January 1 race. Looks like February 1 race and March 1 race. So it's been a little while since he's done some racing out on Zwift. It looks like last fall, actually. So good to see him jumping out on to the program. Maybe going to be time for an upgrade, as he might have gotten some serious fitness here over the summer, as he is hanging out amongst the top 10 and definitely has punched a ticket for some points so far. And if you can get enough of those, we'll punch a ticket to the final in January. Looking through some of the comments here over at the Facebook here. Watching my Team Experimental teammate, Casey Shum. Go, go, go. Nice coverage, Nathan, as Scotty Weiss is over on Twitter. Just took the W, Scotty. Solid race. Scotty Weiss just took the Eastern region win out on Zwift. Punched his ticket for 20 points in this series. If you're looking to get involved, there's still lots of racing. 4 races still to go. We still have the West races still as well coming up here. And so if you want to jump out onto the program and try and get into the final, and you're from the West region in North America, go ahead, get kitted up, jump on Zwift, and throw your hat into the ring here to try and grab those points out there. But nice job out there, Scotty. Casey, looks like he's killing it live right now out on Beam, actually, that he's being spectated right now by quite a few. A lot of chat going on there, it looks like, as well. So Casey with, it looks like, some solid viewership and solid effort live right now out on Zwift here. So, and we are seeing Carissa saying, looks like there is more potential for chaos in the smaller races. Carissa, that is absolutely true, because there's less wheels to hold right in front of you as you make your way through the pack there. The wheel that's right in front of you, if there's more of them, there's just more opportunity to hang on and more power to bring you up to the riders that are up in front of you. But if there's less, there's always going to be more opportunity for stronger riders to get away. So the smaller races definitely give more opportunity for chaos and excitement during the races. The larger races make it very difficult to get away. That is for sure. Carissa Min. Good to see you, Carissa. Nice job in your race. Looks like Carissa Min, who is hanging out watching the broadcast, I believe she took a solid top 10 in the women's race just prior to this in the East region. So good to see you tuning in after your race, probably getting some recovery in. Let me know if you're watching and you just watched your, if you just raced in the East, or you watched, or it's really late for you over in Europe and you're hanging out watching. Let us know what you're doing for recovery. Love to hear about your recovery from this race and what you plan on doing the rest of the week as we head into the KISS Europe tomorrow and the SCR races on Wednesday. Also, it looks like GCN has recently announced that they are doing a group workout on Wednesday. Make sure to be tuning in for that with GCN. Actually, that's going to be an exciting ride. I think a lot of riders will be showing up for to interact with the interact. I believe it's going to be Matt and Simon. I'm not absolutely positive on that, but it's going to be cool to have that ride for sure. Wednesday morning here, I believe it is 7 a.m., 1 p.m. UK time here. T. Sullivan here from Team EN. Boost, I'm here now as well. Meza all together. Now about to make their way up and over the top of the climb one more time. Here they're going to have 3 to go. Well, 2.5 to go, 2.5 to go after they make their way through this climb here. Hepner up toward the front now, coming out of Canada, giving another little kick here. 176 beats per minute here. Schwartz now 7.2. Johnson and the rest of the favorites now starting to sit in. It's that midway point through the race. They've thrown their hat down on they've thrown their chips on the table a few times. The risks were taken, didn't go anywhere. Johnson here still trying to get away or at least break things apart. Continuing on 6 watts per kilogram. Moriarty is here 5.6 now as well. Bussum now. Tilly Sullivan will be Shum. Johnny Rocket hanging on. G. Leo here. Mezen now. Hemke. Shaitov now, it looks like, with Hepner now off the back after the initial attack, actually, as it looks like Shum has the continuance there with Matt Johnson. Now, Matt Johnson with Moriarty, they do have 13 meters, and it is a 5 meters in order to close it on down. So if you're not within 5 meters, you do not have a draft. So Johnson and Moriarty might be able to get away with this if these riders are not able to close it down here. Moriarty kicks on at 5.7 watts per kilogram. Johnson still has the draft, but he's got to close it down now if he wants to hold on to that draft, actually. Looking through here, we do see Moriarty and Matt Johnson. Let's see what kind of past results that they do have. Moriarty actually with a solid win, it looks like. In the Zwift Academy training race, I'm seeing a couple of thirds. KISS Americas as well as EVR Americas an 8th and a 6th actually amongst them. Maybe whittling it down a little bit without all of the racers that are usually in and amongst those races. So perhaps able to take the W here today. Moriarty, P. Moriarty, that is going to be Patrick here. 52 races out on Zwift, an FTP of 345 watts or so. Matt Johnson, 94 races out on Zwift, Team ODZ, 310 watts. Took a win in the ODZ Covfefe ride, actually. It looks like in the KISS Europe race recently on the 26th, took a 3rd. SCR Autumn Race Series, he did take a 4th as well. Matt Johnson, always one to be watching out for in the bigger races out on Zwift. KISS, SCR, PRS, any of these races that the XRS races, he's taken podiums and wins in all of them. So I'd be watching out for the W here for Matt as a favorite out there today, as well as Casey Shum, who's taken some W's in all those as well. Moriarty continues on at the front here, still trying to break this apart. Meza just barely getting back on terms. They do lap. Kim Beezer will give her a ride on as she comes through here. There's Kim now. She's going to try and hang on with these boys, kicking into 7 watts per kilogram real quick there. See if she can jump on for a ride to the finish line so that she gets done with her solo TT pretty quick here. Good to see her hanging with the boys now in her Zwift Academy kit, actually. Now, as we look over the shoulder, now we do have Gortson right along with Schwartz. Now, Gortson's being lapped now. It looks like Schwartz now here up toward the front as they start their final, I want to say, 2 laps out on course. I believe it's 2 to go out on course today. 4.9 watts per kilogram at the front, 167 beats per minute right now as we look through. Looking through over at the chats now, I am seeing what's going on, Basalt's. Good to see you hanging out here. Looks like Basalt's is most likely warming up for the West race. Be interesting to see how that ends up throwing down. Chris with a Zwift ride on in the chat as well. And oh, that was quite a while ago, it looks like here. So if you do want to interact at all, especially over at the Twitch channel or the Mixer channel, it is best to tweet at us at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live for any of the updates. So looking back at the results though from the East series, I'm going to go ahead and see if we can find some of those so that we can just kind of chat a little bit about how it turned out amongst the women actually, as we did not get to see the finish to the line. I'm seeing a win though to Q Jones. Scotty, is that correct, or does that need an update? Because it says he did 3.22 watts per kilogram to the line. That's interesting here. So, and it looks like the results are listed here, but I'm not positive if Q Jones was actually in and amongst the group actually. I don't remember seeing Q Jones, so I believe Scotty did take the W there. But looking through here, for the women, I am seeing Laura Eppelbaum Verna actually for the win actually in the, it looks like, in the women's race. We did not actually go over these results actually at the end of the last race actually. So this is the results that we see in them right now. I believe Scotty took the win here. We'll have to wait and see what they have to say about that. But then we are seeing Laura Eppelbaum Verna, and then it was Svetlana Yavakhan, and then Beth York. Laura Fidel was able to hold on ahead of Beaumont. Beaumont looked to be doing a lot of work actually amongst that group. So Laura, they're playing it pretty smart there. It was Katrina Weiss there taking 6. Janine Thompson then followed by Carissa Min. Nice job, Carissa, hanging out in the broadcast here for Team TFC there. Dixie Newsom and then Amy Levang. Team Fearless showing up in force. Looks like with a W there, as well as a 5th and a 10th place there. Well done to Team Fearless, PTZ, as well as BRT, TFC, and another PTZ rider out there as well. So that was the results for the women there. They'll all be punching for 1 through 10 points in that race today. Back in with the men though, as they're making their way around course here with about a lap and a half to go. Emma Schwartz still sitting in, no attacks just yet. It's been very calm since those initial attacks. I think with just about 1 lap to go, the riders are definitely starting to get those jitters, not wanting to reserve as much energy as they possibly can at this point, not waste anything, as every last ounce of energy is going to matter to the line if it ends up being a drag race sprint, as it usually does out on this course here today. It's always going to be very, very difficult. Q Jones is an error. Thanks a lot, Chris. I appreciate that. I don't think it's right to going to warm up now. Have a great race, Basalt. We will see you in a little bit out on course. Again, we still have, it looks like, Kim hammering away here. Kim Beazle here, still out on course here. Nice job to her, as she is able to hang on to this front group actually with the men. This is going to be one of the stories of the day, as she was able to jump onto this train, but now the attacks are starting up. We'll see if she's able to hang on all the way through, up and over the top here. These are there. Nice job to her here. 7.9 watts per kilogram now, as she hangs onto the wheel of the boys that are around here now, but now starting to fade a little bit. Can she grab onto Richard's wheel there? But now back at the front end of this pack as the attacks start up. T. Sullivan now 3.1 watts per kilogram. Moriarty. Schwart, Rocket now. Bees are still in and amongst them. Good to see her killing it now, as it will be Johnson now. Rocket there still. 2.6 watts per kilogram, 188 beats per minute. 1 lap to go after this one. 1 lap to go after this one. Bell lap in just a moment here. Schwartz here and Sullivan. Top 10 at least. Are they going to drop any more off? No counters at this point, as they all start to sit in and wait for the final laps attacks now. I wonder what is going to play out here, what the tactic is going to be to the line now, as we look through for some of the interactions over social media. Again, if you'd like to interact, got any questions, let us know over on our Facebook or tweet at Z Community Live. What you're looking at right now, real people real bikes, real efforts now, as you can see, as we're just peeking through on the KRT rider there, the back end of his face there. That's kind of interesting from this point of view here. I didn't know about that. I haven't seen that one in a while there, as it looks like a bunch of hollow avatars rather that you're able to bring the camera right on through there. Short now at 5.4 watts per kilogram on the front there. Pink bike with the pink kit, actually. Now with a little kick, 8.8 watts per kilogram. Give us a little show there as we head into the final lap. Quite a lot of work being done by him. Who is he trying to drop off? Is there somebody who's in a little bit of trouble right now? Doesn't look like it. G. Leo here, though, from Draft now. 3.7 watts per kilogram. 148 beats per minute now with about a lap to go. Bussum sitting in 168. These are still in there. Kim's getting a free ride, it looks like there. Nice job to her. 173 beats per minute. She's going to have one extra lap to go after these boys now. G. Leo now kicking up into 10 watts per kilogram, starting that final lap because he saw Johnson going off the front here. Does not want a sprint finish, it looks like here. He's trying to break things apart. Johnson's still going 6.1 watts per kilogram, as you can see here. G. Leo here trying to respond. Moriarty going as well. They're just ramping up little by little, doing turns at the front, not allowing Matt to get any kind of breathing room just yet. Still in that 6-1, 6-1, 6-1 as he tries as best as he can to try and cause a little bit of a break. Maybe he was just going for the sprint there and a little bit of a warm-up maybe, but Hefner's still holding it down with that 1174 here. Leo now up toward the front now, 6.4 watts per kilogram. Looks like Johnson did use his drafting power-up the second that he came through, so maybe he was also looking for a new power-up, as I believe he used that as he came through there. Or was that used immediately before, right after he did come through the start-finish manner? That's going to be the question. The question also then is, who has arrow power-up? Every one of these sprints today, I believe, was won with an arrow power-up. It's always going to be about the arrow in the final. Out on course here today, getting that power up, a little bit of RNG in your favor. Now, if you're really smart though about your sprint and you're able to sit in on somebody that does have that power up, you can grab that sprint right at the line, but you have to time it just perfectly and have the power to come around there. But it will be Shaitov here at the front, right along with Sullivan, Richards, Meza. Grupo Compacto, 183 beats per minute though, coming from Meza. Not sure he's going to have the energy though to make it around the sprint at the end there, sitting at 182 here. Where does Meza max out at? That's going to be my question. With that kind of a heart rate right now, that is a crazy high heart rate. Looking through here, Corey Meza, one race out on Zwift actually. No data available for him besides that one race. That's going to be maybe even this race actually. He's got an estimated FTP of about 350 watts actually, but no past data from him. So watch out for Meza here. Maybe one of the dark horses with that Training Peaks kit on. It looks like he does race bikes most likely in real life, as we are seeing a Strava profile pic coming on through there. But again, all together here, Matt Johnson kicking again, trying to get away. He does not want this sprint. He wants the break to happen. That maybe because he does not have that arrow power up. Leo now from Draft here trying to get away. Meza trying to hang on, now kicking as well. Casey Shum sitting in, allowing the I believe the group to pull him right on in. He's just going to keep the power at a high enough level, perhaps maybe to reserve as much as he can, and allow the group to pull him back up to the riders that are up ahead, because he doesn't believe maybe that this is going to stick. But G. Leo is gone with Johnson at this point, and Casey now gonna have to really be attentive if he wants to make it a 3-for-3 for Team Experimental here. Now Johnson now 4.5 at the front now. Here goes Leo now as he starts to take a pull at the front now, and this is the chips on the table at this point, because it's about continuance at this point. 5 watts per kilogram, 6 watts per kilogram on the front. You got to work together here. Sullivan sitting in now, 4.6. They're not actually making a solid chase now. They're believing, I think, that they are going to go up and over the top of the climb. Rocket now following up with Shum, knowing that anytime a Team Experimental boy makes their way to the front and attacks, it's one to follow there. Shum, 7 watts per kilogram, though, really throwing down very early at this point, and they're just letting it go. This is one of those situations rarely that you see on a course like this, but they're starting to get into that moment where, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? And next thing you know, it's gone. If nobody pulls it back in, it will never come back in. They will not come back. They will be gone. And now here's the thing though. Are they going to have enough power to close it down up and over the top here? Does Matt Johnson from ODZ have the effort over the top of this climb to hold off the big hitters? If they're going to go into the orange numbers, we're going to see feather power-ups, arrow power-ups being thrown down like crazy, but some of you may be holding on to the finish lines. It's all about that for the sprint. Here comes the feather power-up from the C Meza now. Johnny Rockets going as well. Here comes Casey Shum closing it right on down to Johnson and Leo. As they do catch up to the riders, you will see them here on the right in just a moment here. Casey Shum closes it right on down to Matt Johnson. There goes Johnson now, maybe off the back here in a moment because he was off the front for so long. There is also G Leo to the line. We did have that prediction a little earlier coming from Scott about the Leo man there. We'll see if he's able to throw down to the line here. We are in the final miles or so. 1K to go at that red banner there. Are we going to have any more attacks, or is it just going to be to the line? Here comes actually an arrow power up from Hepner there. Maybe in a little bit of hurt, just trying to hold on at this point. Sullivan there, 167. Meza, 5.1. Moriarty. Zvitov there as well. It will be Leo, Draft, Shum, all together. John Rocket now at the front here from the KRT Racing team, and Zvitov now at the front again. We keep on seeing this rider here, 172, staying in and amongst the group. I have no information on him whatsoever so far. Let's see. Yeah, he's first time racer out on Zwift. We're seeing a max heart rate for him of 167 beats per minute for all time. So now we're seeing him over the top of that, up in that 172 now. So watch out for Zvitov now, as I have a feeling he may be one of the dark horses here out on course now. Looking through it is going to be G Leo now, Sullivan all together now. They're in the final K. Where's the final kicks now? Who's going to lead it out? There are no team members on the same team now at this point. It's all every man for himself. Who is going to lead it out for that 20 points at the line? The difference between first and 10th is huge in points, and they're battling it out for the top 3 in the Central E-Crit Series presented by CycleOps here. Meza now at the front, leading things out in the Training Peaks kit. Now here comes the drafting power up from Moriarty. Maybe using that a little bit early because there's more than 30 seconds to the line now. He's looking for a wheel to hold. Meza now starting to go. They're all sitting in. There's a little bit too much timidity at this point because if you don't go now, it's already over. Whoever gets the jump is going to win. Shum goes now. There goes Shum. Johnny Rocket tried to follow it up, but Shum is gone at the perfect moment. 300 meters to go. Unless somebody's got huge wattages, it's all over. Like we said, if you're timid at that point, it's game over. And he knew exactly when to go. He went early enough. Casey Shum will take the win. G Leo to the line. Johnny Rocket third. Sullivan for third. Moriarty fifth. Schwartz then for sixth. Hepner, Hemke, Shaitov, and Meza across the line. Johnson off the back because I think of that effort thrown down earlier on. Butsum then across the line there as well, just outside the top 10, I believe. Casey Shum with the 10:25 for the win. And like we said, it was all about going first because they were so timid. If you go that late with an arrow power up on this course, you got to go from like 500 meters. Those who are a little less experienced in the world of Zwift racing, if there isn't a lead out train already ramping it up from 1,000 to 500 meters, if it's calm like that in that 3 to 5 watts per kilogram or so, you got to just kick, because if you got the arrow power up, you are gone. And Shum knew that, and he made it happen. Casey Shum, 3 for 3, Team Experimental. What an effort. What an amazing result there for Team X so far today. Can they make it 4 for 4 in the E-Crit series? Great job, Team Experimental. Now, who from Team X is racing America's West Crit? Carissa Min is saying boom from Carissa Min over in the chat. All right, now we do have Kay Beezer. She's been able to hang on almost all the way through the entirety of this race out there today. And solid job to her solo TTing to the line here. We actually see A Rolling, though, coming in for the finish here in just a second. I did just see it. See if I can bring this in here real quickly. I did just see him coming across the line, I believe, Rolling. And now I lost him, so he's gone. But Rolling, I believe, did just cross the line. We do have a couple more sprints here. Starting to heat up here out on course. Here's Rolling right along with Barbera, who did get dropped off. This is still for top 20, though, boys and girls. So these points matter in the series, actually. And if these riders do have better results in the future and able to hang on these other courses, they could still punch their ticket. This isn't game over at all. There's 5 weeks of racing here. So Takuko here now coming in with Barbera. We will have, it looks like, Gordson, who has been lapped, though, but the big E here about 32 seconds back as well. A Rolling now making his way to the line. Jay Boone is there, but Barbera here in Carotene. Now, this is the moment right here where Casey went. As soon as it started going downhill, it's uphill a little bit and then a negative percentage. And then Casey went with the arrow power up from the group from right here. Got the jump on them, got the gap of 2 seconds. Closing 2 seconds down in 300 meters is almost impossible. Barbera is going now. Here comes the Japanese rider. Barbera's got 11 watts per kilo. Whoa! 1100 watts. 178 beats per minute. Barbera is gone. And here comes Japan now. Next one across the line. Kay Beezer here now with her solid solo TT effort. She's going to be hanging on with T.O. Dowd out of T. Dowd coming out of the US of A here. I'm not sure if that's a last name or an ODOWD. Perhaps, but we'll give him a ride on here in that Zwift Academy kick. I think Rick is going to win that. Basalt is saying, yeah, solid job to Rick. He definitely killed it out there today. All right, so that is going to be it for our coverage of the Central race today. Beezer's going to win this. It's not going to be this. There's going to be no challenge to her whatsoever out here today for this race right now. We will come right back. We'll get her finish across the line in just a moment here. For those of you who are just tuning in and wondering what is going on here, though, let's do a little bit of information as well as like how you can sign up for these races for the series here. So this is the Zwift Crit Series North America presented by CycleOps. If you'd like to jump into the races, you can head on over. Actually, here is my desktop actually on one of the setups that we do have. You can actually jump on over to Zwift.com/events and you can see what the races are that are coming up. This is the one for the North America East earlier that was at 6:30 p.m. CDT my time. The full description is there, what the categories are, how the points will work, the regions that you can join in for, where you need to be in order to be a part of the race. The central region that we just watched does cover these places right here that you can see. The West region is coming up in about 1 hour, about 1 hour from now. And that will be covering California, Oregon, Washington, Alaska, Hawaii, Colorado, Nevada, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, British Columbia. So if you are in those areas, make sure to jump on into Zwift and we will be covering that as well. About 1 hour from now will be that live broadcast. And then again, if you're new to Zwift and you're wondering, why am I watching avatars rolling around out on this course while this guy plays this game? These are actually real people. Kim Beezer here out of the US of A, somewhere in the central of North America here, is hammering away, actually out of the US of A, so somewhere in USA most likely, in the central region here, is hammering away, chasing down the boys up ahead here. Actually, I'm seeing Rick Mezzo here. Nice job to him. Good to see him throwing his hat in the ring. Actually, he's coming out of Indiana, actually, a local Wisconsin Off-Road Series racer. his son actually used to race for Vision Cycling, actually, in real life, a junior program team that we've had super strong family in the mountain bike scene. Good to see him throwing down out on course as a part of the Central Racing here. Beezer now making her way to the line. 4.3 watts per kilometer. It's been a solo TT effort all day long here today in the women's race. Go ahead, everybody, jump in. Give Kim a ride on. Log in on your Zwift mobile link. Lots of great updates to the Zwift mobile link recently. Open that on up and give him a ride on encouragement, because this has been the effort of a lifetime here to the line. Solo all day long, racing her heart out to try and take this W today. And it is a free 20 points, though, essentially for her, which is awesome for her. And that means there's 19, 18, 17, all the way down to 1 point available for all the women out there in the Central region. Go ahead and tweet that out. If you know somebody who might want to be involved in the final, a whole lot of points, obviously, in places up for grabs in this eCrit series for the Central region. So that means that you have an opportunity, if you are a woman living in the Central regions of North America, to be invited to the final if you just throw your hat in and jump into these races. We'll be back for the next 4 weeks, all the way through November 29th, every Monday. So some open spots here for this region for sure, as Kim is making her way to the line. Solid job to her out there today as she is finishing up. Let's go ahead and take a quick little look at the results then, as it was for the men's. Casey Shum representing Experimental earlier today. Kim Little in the Europe race took the W. Then it was Scotty Weiss in the North America East. And now Casey Shum. Team Experimental, Team Experimental, Team Experimental. Greg Leal there for draft, though. Nice prediction there coming from the social media interaction. It was, I believe Scott had a solid prediction for that 1-2 there. Casey and Greg. Johnny Rocket there for third. Tim Sullivan for fourth. Patrick Moriarty, Mike Schwartz, Clayton Hepner. Nice job to those boys. First time racers, it looks like, here with Alex and Igor. These you can tell because they have blacked out names there or not registered with Strava or ZwiftPower.com. Make sure to register over at ZwiftPower.com. Best way to get all of your results. Corey Mezza, nice job out there. Also a first time racer, it looked like. According to ZwiftPower.com. Kim, nice job out there. She is making her way to the line. A little bit of an arrow power up. Has the sprint jersey as well out there for the women. And 177 beats per minute. Let's see if we can get a little bit of orange numbers out of Kim. Beezer, she makes her way to the line for the W out here today. Solo TT all day long. Up and over 4 watts per kilogram. 177. She's absolutely suffering for that final tenth of a mile. There's a 7.6, 7.8, 8 watts per kilogram coming from Kim Beezer for the win. Putting on a show for us all today. Nice job out there, Kim. And a solid 20 points to punch that ticket a little closer to the final in January in the Zwift Crit Series North America. All right, we'll be back in a little under an hour for the West races. Don't go anywhere. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit follow over on Twitch or Mixer for our live streaming platforms. VOD's always available over at YouTube as well. All the places are Zwift Community Live as the tag, besides Twitter. Our Twitter was a little long, so at Z Community Live. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you in 1 hour for the last of today's races with the CycleOps Zwift eCrit Series.